Hey everyone, how's it going? Azrin here, owner of the Calgary Language Nerds, and welcome to today's Learn Gujarati with Me podcast episode and YouTube video. Today we're going to talk about the melody of the Gujarati language. What's the flow of the Gujarati language like? When I was a young adult, this would have been approximately 10, maybe 10 years ago, roughly, I was in India. And I would ask people in India what they thought of my Gujarati pronunciation. I was wondering, do they think I sound like a native speaker? And at the time, what really I found to be quite curious is everyone said the same thing. They said my pronunciation is perfect, but there's something wrong with my tone. And I was like, what? What does that mean? There's something wrong with my tone. And so I kept listening. I listened to Gujarati. I listened more. I listened more. I talked to more people. I listened. I listened. I absorbed it. And gradually, I developed more of an intuition around what is this tone thing they're talking about? What is the flow of the Gujarati language? And I developed an intuition around it. And so now, largely, that issue is, I guess it's largely rectified, maybe even entirely rectified. Like at least I made a lot of progress on it at an absolute bare minimum. Now, the challenge I still faced, this is the number one challenge. The number one challenge I still faced was I didn't know how to like break down and explain this Gujarati rhythm and flow to people who are learning Gujarati. I had the benefit of just being around a lot of Gujarati speakers and kind of absorbing it naturally and having also a brain that's wired for patterns. My brain is wired for patterns. I see patterns very, very easily. Like I can just see them, absorb them, like that's how I work. And so that gives me an advantage to just take a bunch of information in, find the pattern, replicate it. And so I had that advantage. But I know a lot of Gujarati people, or Gujarati learners, they don't have the advantage of getting massive amounts of input, and they don't have the advantage of that pattern making brain. So it's like, that's tough, right? So that was one challenge I always had. I struggled to explain the rhythm and intonation of the Gujarati language in a way that was just like quickly and easily graspable. Today, I sat down this afternoon for a few hours and I was like, let me sit down and figure this out so I can explain it to people. I can take the intuition I have and turn it into something actionable that you can use. And so that's what we're going to do right now. Let me share my screen and we can begin. So the first concept I want to introduce you to is called word stress. So I'm going to give you an English sentence. Let's give you something like, Sarah didn't eat the apple pie. Okay, here's a basic sentence. Sarah didn't eat the apple pie. If I just say it like that, it's a neutral sentence. But watch this. What if I said this? Sarah didn't eat the apple pie. Now, see how that changes the meaning? You interpret that differently. You think, well, if Sarah didn't eat the apple pie, what did she do to the apple pie? Did she sell it? Did she buy it? Did she bake it? What if I said, Sarah, or let's do this. Sarah didn't eat the apple pie. Well, now the emphasis is Sarah didn't do it. Like someone ate it, but it wasn't Sarah. So in English, we emphasize different words. We put a stress on different words, and the word we put the stress on gets emphasized. And that word becomes hyper salient, hyper important in that sentence. Easy concept to understand, right? So in Gujarati, for starters, easy 101 lesson, you can do the exact same thing. If I just take a basic sentence like, Aje hu ghare chu, this means today, or I'm home today. That's what that means. If I said, Aje hu ghare chu, that means I'm home today, not someone else. Me, I'm the guy who's home. If I said, Aje hu ghare chu, that means I'm at home today. Like, I'm not at the office. I'm at home. I do ghare chu, right? Ghare chu. That's where I am today. If you really emphasize the word, like, that's what that means. So Gujarati, you can do the same thing, and it carries the same meaning. That's easy. 101 lesson. That's great. Now, let's put another sentence on the screen. So actually, let me stop my screen share. So when people talk in Gujarati, right, there's a few different things to look at to sound natural. One of them, obviously, is pronunciation. Do you say the letters as they are meant to be said? Duh, obviously. But the next one, and honestly, probably the more important one, is the overall flow of the sentence. There are people, I have so many stories like this. Um, let's just say this: if you wanted someone to sound natural in a language, you would think, or I would have thought before, that the most important thing to focus on is pronunciation. Make sure the sounds are said correctly, right? Okay, that's what matters the most. But that's not true. What matters way more is flow. If you're flowing and the flow sounds natural, but the individual letters are sometimes a bit off, it actually doesn't make a huge difference. Not really. Like, you still sound really good, you still sound really clear, people understand you, they think you sounds great. Like when some people, maybe in English or something, if English is your first language, they're from another country, they speak and they have a bit of an accent, but you don't even think of it because they just sound so natural. You could sound like that. You could sound very natural in Gujarati. People don't even think about the accent. It's a light accent. They don't even care. And it sounds great. And their ears are like, yeah, you sound wonderful. Sounds amazing, right? So to get that, it's the flow that we have to focus on. The flow is what matters. So the flow of Gujarati works like this. And this is something I'm about 90% sure about. I was thinking through the pattern, and as I test the pattern in my head, like, is that right? Is that right? Is that right? I'm pretty sure it's right. And I did some Google searching as well. And here's something really cool, by the way. The AI, it's kind of cool that the AI search in Google and, well, other platforms too, but it's really cool that they show you the sources. So like Google will actually search through Google to find the answers to your question. So sometimes I've actually found some really cool resources for Gujarati because Google AI goes and finds some website for me. It's like, oh wow, it's like I didn't know that existed. So fun little hack. Okay, so let's take a sentence. Let's get your Gujarati flow on point. Let's take something like હું અત્યારે કેળું ખાઉં છું. હું અત્યારે કેળું ખાઉં છું. Word per word. I now banana eating am. Or in more normal English, I am eating a banana now. Okay, there's our sentence. હું અત્યારે કેળું ખાઉં છું. Okay, perfect. In Gujarati, I'm 90% sure that there is a slight emphasis on the word before the verb. હું અત્યારે કેળું ખાઉં છું. So if I were to draw it out for you, it would look something like this. હું અત્યારે કેળું ખાઉં છું. હું અત્યારે કેળું ખાઉં છું. Like the કેળું, whatever's before the verb is what gets that a little bit of an emphasis. If you're trying to find the flow of the language, like I think I'm pretty darn sure about this, that whatever's before that verb, that eating, right, kauchu, right, whatever's before that gets a little bit of an extra oomph, and that creates a bit of the flow of the sentence. So that's like a really basic thing to know. We can look at one more example sentence. Let's look, for example, Raj ગઈકાલે ગઈકાલે પાર્કમાં ચાલતો હતો. So word per word, Raj yesterday park in walking was. Or in normal English, Raj was walking in the park yesterday. Okay. So again, here's our verb, chaltoto, right? Chaltoto is our verb. The word directly before is parkma. So Raj gaikale parkma chaltoto. Parkma, I'll say it slowly. Raj gaikale parkma chaltoto. Raj gaikale parkma chaltoto. Parkma, that parkma gets the emphasis. There's an emphasis on park. So that's like a really basic thing for you to do in your Gujarati to find the right rhythm and flow when you're talking. Whatever is before that verb, just give it a little bit, not like a crazy, like, Raj Parkma Chaltoto. That would be like me saying, Raj was walking in the park yesterday. Or like, whoa, calm down, buddy. Like, obviously not like a huge one, just a little bit. A little bit's great. A little bit's wonderful. If you want to take your sentence here and you want to make it like you want to emphasize something different, you could say, for example, Raj gayi kale park mein chalto to. Of course, just like in English. Raj was in the park walking yesterday. Like, oh, really? Raj was? Oh, that's kind of cool. Raj. Ah, I thought Azrin would have been in the park yesterday, right? Or if I said, for example, Raj gayi kale park mein chalto to. Raj was walking the park yesterday. I'm emphasizing yesterday. Like we can do that in Gujarati too, and that's perfectly fine. And yeah, that's perfectly fine. That's fine too. It just changes the meaning, just like in English. Now, are you ready for your advanced lesson? Are you ready for like your intermediate? Well, maybe intermediate lesson. So that's like the beginner stuff, really easy. You can grasp that. You can probably do it pretty quickly. Like it's not too bad. Ready for like level 2? Okay, let's look at level 2. I'll clear my screen. So we know that Gujarati has a standard word order. The standard word order of Gujarati is as follows: time word, subject, location, object, verb. We can move, by the way, fun fact, if you move the subject first, subject plus time word plus location plus verb, that is equally standard. Equally standard, perfectly fine. Okay? So we have 2 standard word orders. One is subject, time, location, object, verb, or time, subject, location, object, verb. This is the standard word order. This is how Gujarati people speak. So they would say, today, in the park, a dog saw. That would be a correct sentence. We also know, because we've talked about this regularly on the YouTube channel, that Gujarati word order is ridiculously flexible. If I go location, time word, object, subject, verb, that's fine. It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference. It's still correct, right? So the natural logical question that arises from something like this, from words moving around, is, well, why the heck would they move the words around? Why? If there's a standard word order, right? Like in English, we have a word order, right? Why the heck would someone choose to put a word in a different place? Why would you break the standard word order? Why the heck would you break that rule? What's the, like, why? Let me show you. So I told you a moment ago, can I just undo? Let's see if I can, oopsies, what happened there? Well, I know you guys can see my screen, but I can't see my screen, so that's not helpful. How do I do this? Well, that's annoying. I'll fix it. Dun-dun. Oh, here we go. I got it. Figured it out. Yay, hallelujah. Okay. Let's make sure this is actually working, though. Can you guys see that? Let me just restart it again to be safe. Okay. Okay, good. We're good now. We're good. So let's put that sentence back on the screen. What did I have? Hun atyare keru khau chu. This is the I am eating a banana now. Okay, here's our sentence. We already know that what comes before the verb gets the emphasis. So keru gets the emphasis in the way we talk. Right? Keru gets a little bit, just a little oomph of emphasis. Now, we also know that in Gujarati, I could say, and that like overrides the rest of the, like, that overrides the keru emphasis. Now it's like, oh no, I'm the one eating the banana. We know this too. But watch this. Let's say I did this. If I move the word atyare means right now. If I move atyare to before the verb, now I'm emphasizing the word now. I'm eating a banana now. Now that's changed that meaning. Or if I said, for example, let's move this back. That means I am eating a banana. Because remember, there's a psychological emphasis on the word before the verb. So there's kind of an emphasis on that. So by moving it before the verb, even if I don't change my tone of voice, if I just said અત્યારે કેળું હું ખાઉં છું, અત્યારે કેળું ખાઉં છું, if I just say it neutral, same thing. There's still a slight emphasis in the mind of the Gujarati speaker on whom, because you broke the typical sentence order, and you broke it in order to emphasize that I'm eating the banana now. One more example. This is a weird one. What if I did this? Watch this. What if I do this? Ooh, now what happened? Think about that. I'll actually pause, like pause the video. Like what does this mean? If I move that inward all the way, I move the verb inside. So now we have I eating am now banana. What happened there? So what's happened here is, remember, what goes before the verb is emphasized. So already we know it's I'm the one eating the banana. That there's an emphasis on I. But by moving it all the way inward, it makes these afterthoughts. I'm sorry. Even listen to my voice. I'll draw it for you. Let's draw it differently. Sorry. So who is high, kauchu is mid, અત્યારે કેરું is like an afterthought. It's quiet with our voice, and it actually is an afterthought. It doesn't matter that it's now. It doesn't matter that it's happening now. It doesn't matter that it's a banana. What matters is I'm the one eating it. That's what matters. That's what I care about. The rest is an afterthought. Let me put that back on the screen. So હું અત્યારે, so standard word order, અત્યારે કેરું ખાઉં છું. So this is standard. If we move stuff around, whatever comes before the verb, that is what gets the emphasis, right? So I move this. Let's do one more example. There we go. Let's do this. હું અત્યારે ખાઉં છું કેળું, right? This would mean that અત્યારે is getting the emphasis, right? So હું અત્યારે ખાઉં છું, but કેળું is not emphasized at all. Keru is an afterthought, right? Does that make sense? Are you following that? So this is more like intermediate. This is more like, now we're getting to more like 201 level stuff. Like, whoa, now it's like 201. Like, whoa, this actually might be like, this might be something that if you're a beginner, this kind of makes sense to you next year, because your brain's like, whoa, this is like too much. Now, for fun, I'm going to give you a 301. Ready for 301? This is where English, we're now in the land of abstract art. Now we're in the land of abstract art. We're not even in the land of like, we're not even painting bananas or no. Now we're like abstract art. Now we're like being artists with language. And this you see in songs. When you hear listening to Gujarati songs, you hear this. Now we're playing. Now we're like really messing around. So let's put this back over here. We know that we can change, we can emphasize different aspects of the sentence by using our tone of voice, like word stress, right? Right? We can do that. We know that we can do word order, right? I can say, right? Move this over, for example, right? Right? અત્યારે now, just by word orders emphasized. We already talked about that, right? But what happens when you do both? What if you do both? What if you move a word inward? What if you break the word order and then you also break word stress? Now you can get into meanings that in English are like, it'll break your brain. Like I don't know, like, I don't even know. I'm getting so sick of bananas now, but let's have some fun. Like, I said, like, I don't know. So the standard way to pronounce this sentence would be હું ખાઉં છું અત્યારે કેળું. What if I said હું ખાઉં છું અત્યારે કેળું? Now it's like I know what that means, but I don't know how to, like, now we're like just getting into crazy land. And that's like 301 that I cannot explain to you. I cannot figure out what that means. I can't figure out how to explain that to you. But anyway, that's kind of the gist of this video. So we try and summarize it, right? As a summary, we can always, like, basic stuff. emphasize words that are important to you. Whatever's the important, whatever you want to emphasize in a sentence, emphasize that, and that's lovely. Neutral word order, just kind of like normal talking. You emphasize what comes directly before the verb. Okay, so that's also pretty straightforward. If you ever break the standard word order, if you move words around, the reason you're doing it is you want to emphasize a word, not using your vocal cords, not using like word stress, but you want to do it with the word order. So you move whatever you want to emphasize, you move it directly before the verb, whatever word you want, and that word now gets the emphasis, right? Generally, that word gets an emphasis with your voice as well. Like you've stressed that word with your voice as well. And then if you want to go to like crazy land where you can do crazy things that all the native Gujarati speakers do, you can break the word order and you can then start emphasizing different words, and that starts to make abstract art. The final thing worth saying on this topic is just that there will be, number one, I'm like 90% sure everything I've said in this video is pretty much accurate, but this is me just like looking at patterns and trying to sort it through. But I'm pretty darn close at a minimum. At a minimum, I'm very, very, very close. If you know about this topic by any chance, or you know someone who's like a linguist, a Gujarati linguist, or whatever, like if there's something, like you're more than welcome to send this to them, or you like leave a comment below, like maybe fill in any gaps. Happy to have you do that. It is worth mentioning as well that Gujarati has so many different dialects that I am sure, 100% sure, that if you move around in different parts of Gujarat, there's probably going to be little nuances that are specific in terms of melody and rhythm and word order and all that. I'm sure that there are nuances that are specific to that one area of Gujarat. That is 100% going to happen. So, okay, thanks for watching this. Hope this is insightful, interesting, useful, etc. If you want to take any private one-on-one Gujarati lessons with me, just fill out there's a link in the episode description box. Takes you to my website. Go to the website, fill out the Google form, and then I'll be in touch. So yeah, that's that. Aujo. Bye.